Arizona,
What
and
a solid game, a good game.
I think I can't remember what's his first name, but I think his name is Williams, the Williams boy for Boston College.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Number 44.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yes, and
Who pretty much had a quiet as kept game.
right. And so you're thinking, okay, well, this game is going to have two good running backs out there. We're going to get a chance to see how good these players are that many people won't get a chance to see, hadn't got a chance to see in a big time stage. And I guess the most amazing thing here is Ken Griffey Jr.'s son
Yes.
was the breakout player in this
Yes.
game.
Great game. Great game from him. All around, just a good performance. Arizona, I mean, they had a lot of firepower. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
looking at them, they had speed, but I didn't think it would be executed like that.
Mm-hmm.
And man, I'm just kind of pondering what next year's matchup is going to be. If it's going to live up to any hype, or will they even have a sponsor next year? There's so much going on with the Independence Bowl right now.
Right. And we've even heard that, a lot of people are thinking maybe the game goes away, and I hope it doesn't go away, really.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's so many memories about this game. I know it's not as big as a bowl game that it might have been when we were growing up, but it's still that one of those mid-tier bowl games. I think they're like the 10th oldest or 11th oldest or something like that. It's been around for like, shoot, nearly 40 years. So, you don't want to get rid of it that quick. I don't think you don't want to do that. Um, Here, I guess another one that we could really say that kind of was a bad one, maybe the Buffalo Wild Wings Bowl too, with Michigan losing that game to
Yeah.
Kansas State.
Yeah, I didn't. I saw highlights of it, but I wasn't paying attention. I think it was the same night as UFC 168.
Yeah.
I was barely paying attention to it.
Right. I didn't get a chance to really see that one either, but there's a lot of grumblings out there with Michigan here that they're kind of a little upset right now with Brady Hoke out there and thinking that if he makes it to another mid-tier bowl game, you know, his seat could be getting a little bit hot too. So,
Yeah, I mean Michigan. I don't know where it all goes wrong for them as far as being elite. When you
mhm.
think about college football, I say since what was it Michael Hart, Michael
Yeah,
and I got the quarterback name.
Chad Henne.
Yeah, it's been rough.
Yeah, it was, I guess that loss to Appalachian State pretty much took more than the luster they've had of their program, took that away. Um, Also staying in with the college game, now we've seen some, some basically some new positions being opened, and now
Charles Strong at
Texas,
Texas.
Charles Strong.
Which is weird to me because I think if he would have held out a little long, he could have had the Florida job.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if Muschamp had another season like that, he would have been gone.
Yes.
But are you shocked that he left Louisville for Texas, or are you just kind of business as usual?
Actually, not shocked. Business as usual. Um, would Texas have liked to get a bigger hire? Of course, absolutely so. They were trying to go after Harbaugh. They were trying to go after Saban. Couldn't get those guys, so they just had to go out here and settle on Charlie Strong. But Strong is a very good coach.
Yeah.
We've seen that he was 22-3 over his last two seasons. Um, he brought back Louisville from pretty much from a downtime that they've had there. Then he's pretty much a good guy. And the good thing is, you now go to Texas. You now have kind of, if not the best job, but you have one of the more premier jobs in the nation here, especially with all the recruits sitting in your backyard, the academic program and the program itself, and if the boosters basically support him as well.
Right, exactly. I feel the same way. Now, do you think he's going to succeed there instantly, or is it going to be more of a slow build?
I don't think it's going to be, probably not right away. You still got Baylor in that. You still got Baylor in that conference. You still have Oklahoma State in that conference. You still have Oklahoma in that conference. So, if you're expecting him to probably come in here in year one and lead them to a Big 12 championship game, I don't think it's going to happen. But, yeah, I say year two, year three, he'll probably build himself up there to that point so that they can get right there and get back into that spot. But if they can be patient with him, and I know Texas is not going to be that patient with the coach because they were antsy after Mac Brown had a couple of down years, but they can at least be a little bit patient here, and if they can see some progress, I think that'll give him some time and all that. What do you think?
I think he's going to do well. I think he's going to do well. I think next year, I'm not going to say they're going to win the Big 12, but I think he's going to have a decent bowl game.
Mm-hmm.
I think with their recruiting in Texas, he's going to have. He's a good talker. He's a good coach. He has a good record, so I think he's going to get ready. I think he's going to get that team ready, and they're going to be productive.
Right. So yeah, there's always that too. They're going to be good as well. And now we also have another pretty iconic job here, where Bill O'Brien, he leaves for the Texans, and I guess we can kind of tie that into the NFL, and we'll probably bring ourselves right back to that at another segment. But Bill O'Brien leaves for Penn State. Now, who do you think is going to take that Penn State job? And I feel like the Bill O'Brien did a good job considering what he was up against at Penn State too.
Yeah, the odds are pretty
stacked.
Yeah, so, I don't blame him for leaving.
So who do you think is going to possibly take that job? Because I got a feeling that it's going to have to be another guy that's at least going to be strong. And sadly, from what I've heard, one of the reasons why he left there was because many people were, I guess they kind of wanted things to stay the same way with Joe Paterno had when he was there. So who do you think is probably going to take that job, if at all? Because there has to be somebody.
I have no idea, and I honestly don't know who want to touch that right now. I mean, because so many sanctions and just the pressure and that dark cloud still hanging on. I don't know. You have any names that you might think could step in? Or?
Only person I saw was earlier was that might have been Al Golden from Miami, but I think he's gonna stay at the U. I have no idea. Now maybe they kind of wanted the Titans guy, Mike Munchak, and now that he's been fired, maybe he gets the job. But I can't think if there's anybody else that pretty much will take that job right now. Whoever it is, this is going to have to be a strong-minded individual that knows that you got 2 years to go before you have to worry about a bowl game. So there's always that.
Yeah.
I guess also shifting it now to the NFL, and as far as those openings here, Black Monday was pretty interesting.
Graphic.
Yes.
Oh man, it was pretty graphic. So many tombstones made. Nothing really shocking though. The only shocker that came to me was Cleveland getting rid of their coach so soon after just one season. But as far as Minnesota, Tampa Bay, Detroit, kinda. I mean, yes, he got Detroit in a situation where they're considered winners now, but at the same time, I guess they expected more from their talent. Tennessee was a little bit of a shocker considering that they have so many injuries. But I mean, it happens. But I'm not terribly surprised by many of the fires. You?
Not me neither. Like I said, Tennessee, maybe because I felt like they were right on the edge of possibly having something special, especially with how they started. They started off 4-0. Like you said too about Cleveland, why would you want to do that after 1 year? Again, creates the instability. Continues to show that they've had an instability here. I mean, they've changed quarterbacks and they've changed They changed quarterbacks, they changed coaches for a whole lot of times, so that's going to be one thing there. Um, yeah, there's nothing that's surprising me right now. Now, the two of the positions have been filled. Bill O'Brien does go to Houston, and you also have Lovely Smith going to Tampa Bay.
Yeah. I think Lovie Smith and Tampa Bay is a good fit. You know what I mean? A guy that can build a defense that's pretty much already there. They just need a solid anchor. Offense that's still developing. We're not sure if they're sold on their current quarterback. We'll see how that goes in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they have all the tools there.
Right.
I think they'll be competitive next year.
And I think so too. And they'll be all right here. Like you said, Lovie Smith, not a bad guy. I mean, the guy was 10-6 in his final season at Chicago. So, you know, we know the guy can win. He took the Bears to two NFC Championship games and took them to a Super Bowl with Rex Grossman as his quarterback. So I guess whenever you can do that right there, that has to be said. That has a lot to be said here too. And you know, in a way, he's a defensive-minded head coach. He kind of is what Rex was before. Well, really Rex was. So there's one thing there. I guess I'll take it from the Houston side though. Bill O'Brien, like we said, he never wanted to stay in college. He wanted to see how he could do in the pros, and now he has a good chance. He has a good chance. I think this was one of the best jobs that's out there because, well, even though they did lose their last 14 games, the talent is there. And if they go into the draft, they spend their number one pick, or if they draft down, they could still get a lot of talent out there.
Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen. Like I said, this is a big draft class coming out, and you know, if you comb through it, you know, with the right research and the right staff, you're going to walk away with some prized possessions.
And there's going to be two different ways, really. How can they go with how can the Texans go in this? I mean, if you're the Texans, would you draft quarterback, maybe like spending a draft pick on a guy like Bridgewater or Manziel, or would you even go defense and spend it on a guy like Clowney or Anthony Barr of UCLA?
I was thinking in-house, honestly. I wouldn't draft a quarterback yet.
Okay.
I would stay in-house with Keenum. I think Keenum has the tools to do it. I just think he needs a full start, a true start to the season, and he needs the team's trust.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, he does have the he has the tools. He has the tools. We can all agree here that Schaub is pretty much gone, though, right?
Yeah.
Schaub's gone. Yeah. So we'll say that much right there. We know that at least there's one name that's going to be away from that list, and that's Jay Cutler, and he goes back to Chicago.
Chicago's resigning?
Yes.
I wasn't aware of it. I mean, do you think he's worth it?
Honestly, no. I think that if I would have been Chicago, I would have been better off by keeping McCown, drafting another guy in the draft, and let McCown ruin that guy, and spend the money what you have that you were going to spend on Cutler, and putting that on other parts. At least they said that they do have some financial flexibility in that deal, and also that they can possibly go. They can try to restructure his contract. So that's not bad.
So they walk away with something.
So they could just at least walk away with something. But I don't think I would have stuck around with Cutler, and I think the timing of it was not really that good either, because this just comes like days after Cutler really throws an interception to seal your team's fate. And like, hey, well, you have a contract.
Mm-hmm. Right, exactly. So it's weird.
Mm-hmm. It really is. The sad thing is, though, too, and I hate to really say it, Jay Cutler I don't like him, but it seems like he comes from that. He and Tony Romo come from that Brett Favre school of quarterbacking, as I said.
Yeah, that all or nothing. Like Drew Brees is trying to sneak into that class. for that game last night and a couple others. But yeah, you're right. Cutler is all or nothing with the throws. I